What are your goals? And how can you turn what stands in the way into an advantage? In this video, I will share with you my interpretation of the full moon at 21 degrees of Capricorn of Wednesday, July 13, 2022. First, let's celebrate that we reached 1,000 views with the channel. Thank you so much to all of you who made it possible. Hello, this is Esther Ciurana from Awakening with the Stars. And so this moon is going to be in Capricorn in the decan of Virgo. And it's a lot about precision because it's time to find exactly what is not letting you manifest your goals into physical reality and transform that. The first thing is that this moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, and here is telling us about the fear of the unknown. And with the sun in Cancer, the sign of the crab, is talking about the transpersonal level, the tribe level. And in NLP, there is a model that while the conscious behavior would be like what is on top of the iceberg, like that it's kind of easy to change because it's like I do this but I could do that. When something is at an identity level is when it's very deep, like I identify with that. But there is another level that is even deeper, which is the tribe level, and it's that one that is the we are. When we are in a group, for example a family, and we identify with something, and that is when it's more difficult to change because, for example, when someone is trying to change their diet and their family all are identified with eating a certain kind of food, for example, they love meat, and suddenly you want to eat vegetarian, and it's very difficult to change when you are in a place that is constantly and not only directly trying to influence you to eat meat, for example, but energetically you can feel the resistance of this change. And there is this analogy of the bucket of crabs, because when you have a bucket of crabs, you don't have to put a lid on it, because when one crab is trying to escape, the other ones are going to pull it down. And so it's important to notice that physical reality is only going to reflect your inner energy. And so when you have a tribe around that is trying to pull you down and not letting you change, it's just reflecting your own inner fears, your fear of the unknown, of getting out of your comfort zone. But the thing is, the more you try to fight that by making it an enemy, the more resistance you will find. And the key here is to go inside and see what are these fears and to change them inside, because trying to make these changes on the outside is only going to make this resistance stronger. The resistance is inside. So go inside, find where is this resistance and set the intention to release it. And when you start to release that, you can even find that there's people trying to help you. Like, for example, in my case, in this month I'm doing some ancestral healing and I'm trying to achieve something that's never been done before in my feminine lineage, and I can feel this resistance. But there is another family member who's also trying to break through this resistance, and so we started helping each other, and we are accelerating these breakthroughs of realizing what's stopping us and what are the inner fears that are interfering. And so I invite you to release the resistance that are stuck in the body. And once you get in contact with that and you are able to express it in a healthy way, like I talked about in the previous video, then you can start attracting and letting in this higher consciousness that is going to help you transform that much faster. And I really enjoyed watching the other day the movie from Tom Hanks, which he received the Oscar for, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And it's a lot about that. It's a lot about how he has a TV show that is helping the kids express their emotions in a healthy way. Because when we don't express them, we hold on to them. And it seems paradoxical, but when we actually express them is when we let them go. But it's important to put the intention to let it go, not just to keep the story going. and the moon is going to be opposing Mercury, and it's a time that is perfect for having this, for communicating this type of emotions that other times we are not daring to express. And so with Pluto, it invites us to be brave and find a healthy outlet for it. And it also invites us to relax and have patience and perseverance, even when we don't get things right away. Because there are things that we can be understanding from a mind level, but then in the practical level, we find blockages or that things are not going our way. And in those moments, it's very important that instead of pushing and pushing, which only makes the resistance stronger, and maybe we find ourselves thinking that, oh, I'm gonna work harder and I'm gonna put more effort into it, but it doesn't really solve anything, but because we only get into a loop where it gets harder and harder. And so the key here is going inside, finding this inner peace, this state of relaxation from where we can really transform things instead of in the heat of the moment trying to just force things into reality. And the other day I wanted to see the sunset, and I went to the forest. I was climbing the mountain and just kept climbing and climbing, and it got harder and I was very tired, and then I was almost reaching the top because I get persevering, and then I was almost reaching there, but then I looked behind and I realized like the whole mountain was making a shadow, and I was just getting farther and farther away from the sun. And if I just stayed at my place, I could have enjoyed the sunset without having to do all this climbing that I didn't even get to see it, because when I came back it was already gone. So this was very eye-opening, because I have the moon in Capricorn, and Capricorn sometimes is a lot about that. It's the goat that keeps climbing the mountain until it reaches the top. But first you got to see the bigger picture. You got to see it like, is this what I really want? Is this the goal I'm trying to achieve? Or is this just bringing me farther and farther away from what I really want? So it's important to go inside and to check our emotions, to clear them and release them and express them and letting them go, to have this clarity about where are we going, because otherwise we just maybe find ourselves exhausted climbing a mountain that is not even the one that is bringing us to where we want to go. So if we want to have this precision, it's very important to have this self-knowledge and of where are we keeping emotions that we need to release and we need to express. And this is a daily practice. You're not supposed to change this overnight, but this is a moment that is presenting us with the opportunity to have this clarity about where we have been pushing and if it's actually closer or farther from our north. And to know this north, which is completely personal and unique. You cannot just find a general definition of success and try to achieve that, because it's gonna feel completely empty. You gotta go inside and feel your emotions, which this month is a lot about this. And so it's presenting us with a bunch of opportunities to feel things, more pleasant or less. It doesn't matter, it's not about judging emotions, it's just about feeling them. And when we do that, we actually lower our self-defense mechanism and we can start recovering trust, especially related to the mother and father figures this month, which also represents source, what is our connection with everything that is, and our trust in the universe that things will be okay, that we will be fine. And so we will also find if there is something that is in the way of this trust, and through this precision we can go exactly to that spot and clear it, so we can come back to our natural state of flow that brings to us instead of us having to push forward exactly what is most aligned with our soul. And so thank you so much for those 1000 views and looking forward to more. Until the next video.